Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this cable stitch scarf. Now this is more of a, I would consider it's an intermediate pattern, but beginners, feel free to try. I always say I like to hope that I teach well enough that even a beginner can understand. It's the only stitches you really need to know are single crochet and triple crochet, but they do cross over as far as cable goes. But anyways, beginners, welcome to try. As you can see, they are cables. It's meant to have these holes in it like that. It's more of a lightweight cable stitch made for like a spring shawl or something like that, or a spring scarf. I guess you could use it, make a shawl out of the stitch, but this is a scarf. It's made for like a springtime article because it's supposed to have those holes in it. So there's nothing wrong with those holes. That's how it's supposed to be. I did not color control this yarn, in case you wondered. It has I just let it go. It does have a very nice ombre effect to it. It's very, very pretty. So my scarf measures about 8 inches across and approximately 65 inches long. Now you can make yours as long as you want, and you can also make it shorter or bigger. I'll tell you the multiple of it. But that's what it looks like. I think it turned out very, very pretty. It makes a nice lightweight spring shawl, or I keep saying shawl, I apologize. Nice lightweight spring scarf. And you can even make it shorter and connect it and make it an infinity scarf. That would be really pretty too to wear around during the spring. I think it's gorgeous. Not only is the stitch gorgeous, the yarn is gorgeous, but any yarn is going to look gorgeous. So let me move this to the side. So for this project, I use Cascade Yarns Tangier. Now you do not have to use this yarn by any means, but this is a 53, or it's a silk cotton acrylic rayon blend. And there are 220 yards in each skein, and it is a medium weight number 4. So any medium weight number 4 will work. You do remember, I don't want to stress enough, you do not have to use this yarn. 220 yards. Mine's about 8 by 65, and I went through almost 3, so probably about 650 yards of a 4-weight yarn to make it my size. If you want to make it bigger, of course, you're going to need more than that. But if you want to make it a short, like infinity scarf, you know, it's going to take less. In case you're interested, the color number of this is number 25. That's what it looks like. It's a very pretty yarn, but any yarn's going to look pretty because it's a very, very pretty stitch. And then I'm going to be using a size I, which is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. So this stitch is done in a multiple of 6 plus 3, which means your chain, your beginning chain, needs to be divisible by 6, and then you would add 3 more chains. So to make it my size, which is approximately 8 inches wide, I started out with a chain of 33. So for row 1, 33 stitches I have here on my hook. We're going to do a single crochet in the second stitch from the hook. Now remember, we don't count the one that's on our hook. So 1, 2, and the second one, we'll go ahead and do a single crochet. And now we're going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch for the length of our chain. Just like this. So row 1 is just basically 1 single in every stitch until we get to the end of the row. All right, I have made it to the end of row 1, and now you should have a total of 32 stitches. So that'll be the magic number from now on. We're always going to have 32 stitches. So this is just a 2-row repeat. So row 2 is going to start the repeat row. Rows 2 and 3 are the repeat rows. So row 2 is the cable stitch row. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a chain of 4. Now that chain of 4 is going to count as a triple crochet, and then we're going to turn our work. Now we want to skip 3 stitches. So we don't count this very first stitch because that triple crochet is acting as a stitch for that first one. So counting over 1, 2, 3, in the 4th one we're going to triple crochet. That, and then we're going to triple crochet into the next. And then we're going to triple crochet one more time into the next one. So that was 3 triple crochets there in a row that we did. Now those 3 stitches that we skipped, we're going to go back and triple crochet in them, starting with the very first one that we skipped. Remember, not this very first one, because that chain 4 is taking that spot. So the first one here that we skipped, we're going to yarn over twice, go in front of your work. It's kind of awkward. It's only awkward. It's not hard, it's just awkward. Go straight into that first stitch. I always try to go into it. I say cables aren't hard once you get the hang of it. It's just awkward. That's the only thing I can say. Just put you in a weird position. Go into that first one and then pull your hook back out like that, so your hook's on the front. Grab the yarn and triple crochet. So there's 1. Now you got to kind of move your stitches around to find the places that you need to go into. So there's 2 more stitches left that we need to go into. This one and this one, and we need to triple crochet in those. So going into the next one right here, go into it like that, but bring your hook back around the front. I always pinch it. It's easier for me to pinch it, like to hold it together, because that holds it still. And then do your triple crochet. For me, it's easier just to hold it, pinch it tight. That way it's not moving all around on you. Now you got 1 more that you have to do, so dig around, find that stitch right there, and triple crochet into it. So yarn over twice, go into the stitch, but bring your hook back around to the front like that. And then I pinch it together to hold it so nothing's moving around on me, and triple crochet. That's our first cable. That's how we work the cables. Now it's gonna look all tangled up and a big old mess. That's fine. That's how they kind of look at first, until you get to going on them. Then they start to straighten out. So we're going to repeat that again all the way across. So we are going to skip 3 stitches. So you can see right here there's a triple crochet. So we want to skip 3. 1, 2, 3. And in the 4th one, we're going to triple crochet. And then we're going to triple crochet again into the next 2 stitches, just like we did before. Like that. Now we're going to back it up. In those 3 that we skipped, we're going to put triple crochets in them, starting with the first one. So you have to look and see there is a triple crochet in this stitch, so we need to go into the next one that's unworked. It's always the hardest to get. So yarn over, go in to that stitch and bring your hook around from the front, pinch it together like this, and triple crochet. Trust me, look at that. Look what I just did. I'm not going to edit that out. I'm just going to show you. I make mistakes. There we go. But trust me, it'll get easier once you figure it out. Just like that. Now we got 2 more we got to do. So you got to dig around and find them. So the next one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to yarn over twice, go into that stitch, bring your hook back around to the front like that. You don't have to pinch it together, but I find it much easier if you just hold it tight right there so nothing moves, and then do your triple crochet. And now we got 1 more to go. We dig around and find it. Right there she is. So yarn over twice, and we're going to triple crochet into it. So stick your hook into the stitch and then bring it right back around to the front like that. Pinch it tight and triple crochet. So there's another cable, and remember, it's going to look funky. You can straighten it a little bit if you want, but that's just kind of how it looks. And like I mentioned before, it's supposed to have these holes in it because it's more of a opened cable stitch. So we're going to repeat doing these cables all the way across. So let's do it again. Want to? So we're going to skip 3 stitches. So this one has been worked, so we're going to go to the 3 that have not been worked. 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th one we're going to triple crochet. So there's 1, and we're going to triple crochet into the next 2 just like before. There's 1, and then 1 more. We'll make 3 triple crochets there in a row. And now we're going to back it up, and we're going to triple crochet into those 3 stitches that we skipped, starting with our first one, which is always a doozy. So yarn over twice, go in to that stitch, first stitch, bring it back around to the front, pinch it together, and triple crochet. Just like that. And now we're going to do the other 2. So look around. Always pull them open so you can see where you need to go. Right, here's my next one. So yarn over twice for the triple crochet. Go into that next stitch. Bring your hook back around to the front like that. Pinch it and triple crochet. One last stitch we got here to finish off this cable, and there it is, looking all lonely, wanting a stitch in it. So you go right into it, bring your hook back around the front like that, pinch your work, and triple crochet, and there is your 3rd cable. So that's how we do the cables, and I'm going to repeat doing these cables until I get to the end, to the last stitch of the row. So that's what it kind of starts to look like. Alright, I have made it to the end, and I just did my last cable here, and I have 1 stitch left here on the end. We just want to go ahead and put a triple crochet into that last stitch, and that will end row 2. Like that. So what you'll have is 5 cables, or if you wanted to be technical and count every single stitch, you'll still have 32 stitches, counting this chain 4 here on the end. So row 3 is the last row of the repeat. It's really easy. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. We are going to put a single crochet in every single stitch across, starting with this very first stitch that we just did. So go into this very first one and single crochet, and now we're going to put a single crochet on top of every stitch. You just have to kind of go slow and make sure you're getting them all the cables. You don't want to miss any. Kind of pull them out. Remember, there's 6 stitches to each cable, and you want to make sure you do them in a row, the first 3 and then the next 3. So I always try to put my finger in between the cables, and I know I got to put my single crochet in these first 3 here. It just helps me separate the cables so I can see the stitches better. And then I'll have to put my single crochet in these 3 back here. 1 single crochet on top of each stitch. Again, my next cable, kind of stick a finger in there, some type of finger here, and separate your stitches. That way you know these first 3 cables in the front are the ones that you have to put your single crochet into first. 3 of them, and then you do the back 3 triple crochets of that cable, single crochet in each of those. Just get them separated to where you can see them good. And I'm coming to the end of the row here. I got my last 3 cables to do. And then I want to end row 2 by putting a single crochet into the top of this chain 4 here. Like that. And you should have 32 single crochets. And that's what it kind of looks like. So now we just repeat again. We're going to start repeating rows 2 and 3. So row 4 is going to be a repeat of row 2, which is a cable stitch row. So we chained 4, which was a triple crochet, and then we turned our work. And then we went ahead and did our cables. So we skipped 3 stitches. Remember, we don't skip this first one because this triple crochet counts. It takes that place. So 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th one, we're going to triple crochet. And then we're going to triple crochet into the next 2. So we're just repeating what we did on row 2. That 3 in a row, and then we back it up and we triple crochet in the 3 that we skipped. Remember, that first one is always the hardest. Go in front of your work, go into that first stitch that we skipped, and bring your hook around to the front. I always pinch my work to hold it steady, and triple crochet. Look around, find your next one right there, go into it, bring your hook back around to the front, triple crochet, one more, there it is, go into it, bring your hook right back around to the front, and triple crochet. So that's your first cable, and we just repeat that all the way across. So we skip 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and then we triple crochet in the next 3, back it up, and triple crochet in the 3 that we skipped. So we're just going to keep repeating rows 2 and 3. You'll always have the 32 stitches or the 5 cables. Now you will notice after a while what you have to do with this stitch is the cables, they start to bunch up. You have to stretch them out after a while. Cables kind of do that. They just kind of bunch up, and you need to give them a stretch to pull them out. But that's what it looks like after you can do that for as long as you want your scarf to be. Like I said, mine's about 65 inches for the yarn, for the amount of yarn I use. But you do as many rows as you want. If you want to go around the edge with single crochet, that would clean up the edges nice. I think I'm going to leave mine since it's meant to have these holes. I think the holes on the edges just kind of match up. But if you want to go around and single crochet the edges, that would be nice too. But that's it. Repeat rows 2 and 3. Remember, after a few rows, your cables are going to be kind of crunched up like that. Give it a good stretch both ways, and it stretches out the cables and makes them look like they're supposed to look. But I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Man, this yarn is gorgeous. But you know what? It's going to be pretty in any yarn that you choose, and I can't wait to see a picture of it. Or on Instagram. I'll put links to both of those below. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos, and thanks everybody for watching. Bye-bye.